This is not a scene out of a movie, or a reconstruction of our past. This could be our future. De-extinction of megafauna could be the one method of protecting the environment from climate change, and even carbon capture. This technology, if developed, could be how we fix a lot of the damage caused to the planet that was once thought to be permanent. This prospect isn't as close to science fiction as it was in the 90s. Today, many organisms are bioengineered, most famous being farm plants. The genetic code within them was designed, copyrighted, and sold to farmers to produce more than they would otherwise. It's not just plants that have been bioengineered. Glowfish have had their genetic code changed, but the best example of all is the colossal dire wolves. The two pups weren't perfect resurrections of the extinct species, but they show that it could be possible once more research has been put into it. De-extinction is the process of taking an extinct animal and returning it to the environment by either artificial insemination with a close relative or exact cloning. Both methods have had attempts or are undergoing attempts, but nothing perfect has been accomplished yet. De-extinction isn't to fill theme parks and to line the pockets of billionaires, however. It could seriously help struggling environments as proposed by Matt James at the Colossal Bioscience Institute. He suggests reintroducing extinct species back into the environment. Instead of having teams of people plant trees to replace areas affected by deforestation, mastodon, ground sloths, and other large herbivores, like the Paraceratherium, could spread the seeds as they move through their environment. Not only would they spread forests further, but they would encourage new growth by toppling old trees, making room for new growth, like how elephants do in Africa today. All of this potential new growth would help the carbon cycle, taking much of it out of the atmosphere. And overall making natural habitats be able to absorb much more carbon than they would unattended. Additionally, adding biodiversity would make each environment much more stable against climate change, as each environment can be richer with different species and a larger amount of individuals of those species. The question of de-extinction is if it's even possible to accomplish, and the challenges associated with it. Direct cloning is the hardest method to accomplish, as it requires a full uninterrupted DNA sequence for the whole creature, and unlike Jurassic Park, you can't just fit frog DNA and hope it works. The resulting embryo would also not have a mother, making it more difficult to introduce them into the wild. This kind of work is being attempted on the thylacine. Artificial insemination, however, would avoid this issue, but it can only work for animals with surviving relatives. It is proposed to use this method with mammoths and rhinos. The final method is Hox gene coding, which was used by Colossal Bioscience to create their dire wolf pups. They aren't a one-to-one perfect replica of dire wolves, however, and this caused a philosophical debate if they are actually dire wolves at all. While true de-extinction has not yet happened, the technology is far from impossible. Now with subsurface methods like GRP, preserved bodies can be found in permafrost, perfect for acquiring genetic information from the past. One day, extinction will not mean forever, and it will be to the benefit of the whole planet. Not only can we see these magnificent creatures thriving in the world once more, but they will help the planet weather the storm of onset climate change. The past lay before us.